Meghan Markle is officially in a damage control mode as she desperately tries to salvage her public reputation by telling the world that yes, oh yes, Netflix is interested in her very, very meager offerings as a creator. Well, we know this is probably really not true.
Now let's talk about Harry and Meghan. Meghan Markle's plans to produce a film adaptation of Carly Fortune's hit romance novel, Meet Me at the Lake. Well, that's now on ice after Netflix decided not to renew its $100 million deal with Harry and Meghan. Kinsey, this is a big blow for Meghan. This was a serious project.
Meghan Markle might have just lost everything. With the highly publicized collapse of her multi-million-dollar Netflix deal, cracks are beginning to show in the carefully curated image of a media powerhouse, once hailed as a modern reinvention of royalty and a force to be reckoned with in Hollywood. Meghan is now scrambling for relevance in a space that seems to be moving on without her. The Netflix deal, which was initially seen as a game changer for the Sussexes, has reportedly been quietly dropped. And insiders say the streaming giant simply didn't see the return on investment. Meghan's projects failed to generate the cultural buzz or numbers expected, and Hollywood, always quick to pivot, seems to be growing cold. Her lifestyle brand hasn't taken off as hoped. Public appearances feel increasingly calculated, and major media outlets that once chased after exclusives are now keeping a healthy distance. Meanwhile, Prince Harry appears to be charting a different path, one that includes reaching back toward the royal family. Quiet peace talks with King Charles have been reported, and insiders claim Harry is more focused on mending family ties than launching new ventures. So, is this the end for Meghan? Join me today as we dive into the latest chapter of the downfall of Meghan and Harry, and let's see why people predicted this day would come a long time ago.
Imagine this: Rachel Meghan Markle, dressed in beige, tanned to the nines, completely blackface, except the hands and of course the hair parting, surrounded by white males dressed in suits, chastising her, while Meghan Markle is crying, playing the victim, without tears, of course, because the tears can ruin the tan lines. Yes, all of this happens in a boardroom. This is something that Netflix right now is having to deal with, and they want nothing to do with this woman because she just crossed a line. And they are absolutely gobsmacked. But hey, if you go to bed with dogs, with dirty dogs, you wake up with fleas, like ticks all over your face. And you're not going to believe what Netflix is having to deal with because of a little video that Rachel Meghan Markle recorded without their permission. And you're not going to believe where this video was recorded because it's going to be...
So, after dominating headlines for years as two of the most controversial royal in recent times, it appears that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are finally experiencing what many public figures fear most: waning relevance. Once the center and the source of royal drama and Hollywood buzz, the Sussexes are now facing a new reality, a quieting public that seems less and less interested in what they have to say. Despite Meghan's repeated insistence on privacy, there has been a growing contradiction in how she navigates the spotlight. While she's stepped back from royal life and claimed to want space from media scrutiny, she's simultaneously launched podcast ventures, lifestyle brands, high-profile interviews, and celebrity appearances, efforts that, at least for now, haven't landed the way she hoped. People were quick to point out an uncomfortable truth. The more the public disengages, the more Meghan seems to scramble to reassert herself. It's a pattern that's becoming increasingly visible. With critics growing louder and her base of supporters more subdued, the energy once surrounding her has shifted. The backlash now outpaces the praise. The headlines are fewer, and the more drama Meghan found herself getting into, and it's finally coming back to haunt her. Now, one of the most telling signs of Meghan Markle's declining influence in the entertainment industry came with the collapse of her $100 $700 million Netflix deal, a deal that she once hailed as a post-royal power move and a cornerstone of her and Prince Harry's rebranding. What was expected to evolve into a renegotiated, scaled-down partnership instead ended in a quiet but firm decision by Netflix to walk away altogether, and with it, a massive opportunity slipped through Meghan's fingers. According to insiders, the streaming giant had grown increasingly frustrated with Meghan's shift in priorities, specifically her focus on building her lifestyle brand as ever, rather than delivering on the content commitments tied to the deal. While her initial documentary with Harry generated significant buzz, it's now widely seen as a one-hit wonder. The follow-up projects failed to generate anywhere near the same cultural momentum, and internal sources suggest that Netflix executives felt the brand lacked depth and staying power. The fallout from the scrapped deal has left Meghan scrambling to find her footing, with limited interest from other major platforms. Despite talk of new ventures and projects, industry players are reportedly hesitant to invest heavily in her brand, which has now been criticized as more style than substance. This setback isn't just about losing a deal, it's a major public signal that the entertainment world may no longer see Meghan Markle as a reliable draw. For someone who once dominated both royal headlines and the Hollywood rumor mill, the shift is stark. Without the momentum of a major platform and with public interest fading, Meghan now faces the uphill task of rebuilding her brand from scratch and with fewer allies than before. To make matters worse for Meghan Markle, her lifestyle brand As Ever, which she chose to blow her Netflix deal on, is facing mounting backlash and critical reviews that question its authenticity and purpose. What was positioned as a chic, curated expression of Markle's taste and values has instead become a lightning rod for skepticism and criticism. From the start, As Ever struggled to resonate. While early press attempted to frame the brand as Meghan's graceful pivot into the wellness and lifestyle space, consumers and industry insiders weren't buying it, literally or figuratively. Many critics argue that the brand feels hollow, with more emphasis on aesthetics and celebrity than substance. The offerings, from jam jars to luxury kitchen goods, were quickly branded as overpriced and out of touch. Worse yet, the accusations of exploiting her royal ties have returned with renewed force. You see, insiders argue that Meghan's brand is built not on innovation or expertise, but on the fame that came with marrying into the British royal family. The criticism goes deeper than just product lines. It cuts into the foundation of her public persona. For a brand that claims to champion authenticity, As Ever is now widely viewed as anything but. This perception has made it nearly impossible for Meghan to forge a genuine connection with her target audience. Consumers are increasingly wary of celebrity vanity brands, and Meghan's attempt to stake her claim in the space has been met with a mix of indifference and outright hostility. With a fractured fan base and fading media attention, the brand's future looks uncertain at best. Combined with the fallout from her Netflix deal and the broader questions about her public relevance, As Ever's poor reception only underscores a larger problem. Meghan Markle is struggling to find a post-royal identity that the public actually wants to engage with. To add to all the drama, Meghan's hyped podcast Archetypes, launched under the Spotify deal, also underperformed. Despite a flashy debut and initial buzz, the podcast didn't maintain momentum or achieve the kind of cultural impact Markle's team likely hoped for. To put it simply, Spotify quickly, I realized Meghan was boring. So, the Spotify deal, like her Netflix contract, was quietly shelved after one season, with reports suggesting both creative and production issues behind the scenes. These repeated stumbles have left Meghan in a precarious position, struggling to reinvent herself beyond her royal identity and prove she can create content that audiences actually want. Amid these setbacks, rumors have emerged suggesting Markle may be eyeing more traditional platforms, even daytime television. Speculation about her possibly joining The View has circulated, though insiders say it's a long shot. Not only is the show navigating its own ratings and chemistry challenges, but Meghan's polarizing public image may not align with the show's current direction. Still, the rumor alone speaks volumes about her desperation to find a new avenue for relevance. Meanwhile, Prince Harry appears to be shifting in a different direction. According to royal sources, he is actively working toward reconciling with King Charles and other senior royals, possibly as a way to repair both personal relationships and the Sussexes' fractured public image. This pivot suggests a level of self-awareness, an acknowledgement that their bold post-royal experiment hasn't unfolded as envisioned. The couple's brand, once built on independence and disruption, now faces the hard truth that influence is fleeting without results. Their ability to maintain relevance in a rapidly shifting media landscape may depend less on high-profile deals and more on quiet consistency, genuine storytelling, and a strategic recalibration of their public roles. Simply put, the Sussexes are at a crossroads. With Meghan's media ventures stalling and Harry looking back toward the monarchy for grounding, their next moves will be pivotal. Their absence from major events, declining search interest, and lack of fresh content have led many to question whether they still warrant the spotlight. And for a brand built on visibility, that kind of quiet is deafening. At the heart of this turning point lies a simple truth: celebrity relevance is fragile. Without consistent engagement, compelling work, or a clearly defined public role, even the most talked about figures can fade. Meghan's recent setbacks serve as a stark reminder of how quickly public fascination can turn into fatigue. If the Sussexes want to regain control of their narrative, it's time for a strategic reset. That might mean stepping away from flashy partnerships and leaning into substance, genuine philanthropic efforts, low-key but high-impact media appearances, or behind-the-scenes roles that reframe their presence. For Harry, his reported efforts to reconnect with the royal family could be part of this recalibration, a quiet, strategic pivot towards stability. Now, the question on everyone's mind right now is, do Meghan and Harry still command the attention they once did? After years of dominating headlines with royal bombshells, multi-million-dollar deals, and high-profile interviews, the couple now faces a sobering reality. Public interest is waning, and fast. Gone are the days when every move sparked global coverage. Now, with Meghan's Netflix deal scrapped, her podcast underwhelming, and her lifestyle brand as ever struggling to gain traction, the narrative has shifted from power couple to public relations problem. Once considered disruptors of the royal institution, the Sussexes now seem caught in a holding pattern with few meaningful projects and fading momentum. Critics argue that the media has moved on, and in many ways so has the public. Guys, Meghan Markle's recent struggles just go to show the volatile nature of modern fame. Her brand, once thriving on novelty and disruption, now faces a critical test. Can she evolve into something more sustainable and respected? The media landscape is shifting, and the spotlight is no longer guaranteed. For Meghan and Harry, adaptation isn't just a strategy, it's a necessity if they hope to maintain any lasting influence in the public eye. Anyways, what do you think about this drama? Let me know your opinion in the comments. Till next time, bye.